Guys, I cracked the code. I have proof that without a shadow of a doubt, a PS5 is better than a mid-range gaming PC priced between $1,000 to $1,200 USD. Furthermore, if these calculations are correct, and the PS5 Pro specs leaks are true, it will be better than a $2,000 USD gaming PC. I'd go on to say it will be the best gaming PC you can get. And you know what's the funniest part? I realized this while I was doing research for something else. Insane. But first, is PSVR 2 the best headset for PC gaming, especially given its unbeatable price? Right now, the PSVR 2 headset is on sale for $350 at several retailers, while a bundle that includes Horizon Call of the Mountain is down to $400. These deals reflect $200 discounts, making it the lowest price we've seen for this hardware. The big question is, can the PSVR 2 support any virtual reality PC game? Kind of. It's complicated. Let me try to break it down. Basically, the PSVR 2 can support some VR games on PC, specifically those available on Steam VR, thanks to a new adapter that allows for this functionality. However, there are important limitations to consider. 1. Game compatibility. While the adapter enables access to a range of Steam VR titles, it does not mean the PSVR 2 can play any VR game on PC. The headset is primarily designed for PlayStation 5, and its compatibility with PC games is limited to those that support Steam VR. This includes popular titles like Half-Life Alyx and Fallout 4 VR, but excludes games that require features not supported by the VR 2 on PC. Several advanced features of the PSVR 2 will not function when connected to a PC. This includes HDR, eye tracking, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback, except for basic rumble. However, it retains some hardware capabilities like 3D audio and foveated rendering without eye tracking. While the hardware is impressive, it's not backwards compatible with games from the original PSVR, and its current game library lacks a standout title. The Meta Quest 3, which costs $500, remains a better buy for most people. So, if I were a PC gamer, I would think twice about getting one. I mean, you are basically getting a half of PSVR 2. This is what I understand from my research. The eye tracking feature is one of the main selling points of PSVR 2. I still think PSVR 2 is best experienced on PlayStation 5. I just wish they'd make more games for it. I spoke in depth about this topic in my previous video. You should definitely check that out. Yeah, let's move on to the main topic of the day. Today, I'm gonna prove to you that PS5 is superior to a brand new $1,500 PC. Therefore, PS5 Pro will be superior to a 2.5K gaming PC. And we will also talk about how PS5 Pro might support Gen 5 SSDs, which can deliver 3 to 4 times the speeds. This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not a clickbait video. I actually sat down and did the math and research for this video, and the results literally shocked me. I postponed the release of the video because I really wanted to get the math right. To add fuel to the fire, I want you to understand that I'm also looking to build a new editing rig for work and some gaming. So, yeah, this video will melt your brain. First, we are going to use Black Myth Wukong and Star Wars Outlaws system requirements as a case study for this video. If you want to run Star Wars Outlaws at 1080p on PC, you'll need Windows 10 with DirectX 12, an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X or Intel Core i5-104 processor, 16 GB of RAM in dual-channel mode, and a better graphics card like the AMD RX 6700 XT 12 GB version, or NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti 8 GB version. This setup will let you play at 1080p with 60 FPS on high settings. For Black Myth Wukong, which also comes out in August, you'll need an Intel Core i7 9700 or AMD Ryzen 5 5600X processor, 16 GB of RAM, and a graphics card like the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 or AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT. You'll also need 130 GB of SSD storage. To build a PC with the recommended system requirements for these two games, you would likely need to spend around $1,000 to $1,500 USD. Here's a breakdown of the estimated costs for each component. You can pause and read it, and you can do your own calculations. The total cost will vary depending on sales, bundles, and the specific models chosen. Prices are approximate and can fluctuate. With the recommended specs, you should be able to run Star Wars Outlaws and Black Myth Wukong 1080p 60 FPS on high settings, or potentially higher resolutions with the help of DLSS or FSR. But if you want to use a good upscaling method, it's better to go for NVIDIA's DLSS tech, which will cost you more. Now here's why the PS5 is a better deal compared to a mid-range gaming PC. While we won't be hitting 4K with ray tracing at 60 FPS on the PS5 for games like Star Wars Outlaws and Black Myth Wukong, the PS5 can easily deliver a smooth experience at 1440p 60 FPS. For ray tracing, we might see it in Black Myth, but probably not in Star Wars Outlaws, since Ubisoft usually focuses on great lighting without needing ray tracing. Ubisoft games like AC Origins and AC Mirage show that they can create amazing visuals without ray tracing, which is impressive. As games start being developed for current-gen consoles and PCs rather than the older generation, we're seeing much better graphics quality. The PS5, costing significantly less than a mid-range gaming PC, offers a great value if you want high-quality experiences without spending a fortune. Now, this is just the base PS5. Just think about what the PS5 Pro will do. Oh boy, people will really be torn between the $600 PS5 Pro and a $2,000 gaming rig. PC gamers are already looking at upgrading their RAM and graphics cards, which, let's be honest, an okay graphics card cost as much as a PS5, while we, the PS5 gamers, are just waiting for the games to release. As a PS5 gamer, there's only one factor I care about. Will the game run at 60 FPS at a decent resolution? If the answer is yes, then I'm considering it. This is why I completely skipped Dragon's Dogma 2 last year. The game has great reviews, but I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I am not impressed by the graphics at all. At this fidelity, with people in town popping in 5 meters away from my character, and the game not running at 60 FPS on the PS5, it's a pass for me. Again, nothing against the game, I'm sure it's awesome, but I expect more from devs in 2024. This might sound annoying because it's probably the third time I bring this up, but Horizon Forbidden West looks 10 times better than Dragon's Dogma and runs at 60 FPS at 1800p, without objects and grass popping in every 5 meters. For me, these things are crucial. All I want from a game is for it to look sharp, look nice, and run at 60 FPS. I don't even need 4K resolutions most of the time. I'm perfectly happy with 1440p or 1800p as long as the fidelity is good. When I see games that look inferior to those that came out on PS4, it's a pass for me. And let's be honest, most PC gamers don't play in native 4K either. They use DLSS or AMD's FSR. So coming up with arguments like, oh, on PS5 it's upscaled to 4K is weak. There's no argument there. And to the people in the comments saying, my 4090 blows the PS5 and PS5 Pro out of the water. Sure man, but your 4090 starts at $2,000. Include the rest: CPU, RAM, mouse, keyboard, a 240Hz monitor that can actually take advantage of your GPU, and we're looking at a $4,000 to $5,000 rig. It's awesome that you have that, but you are in a very small minority. Most PC have PCs more expensive than a PS5, and they run a lot of games worse than the PS5. It's a fact. A lot of people who already own a PS5 say they're happy for now and won't upgrade to the Pro, and I agree with that. Most PS5 gamers are really happy as long as they have 60 FPS. Plus, games on high-end TVs can look incredible. If you've got a VRR TV with QLED and HDR, it can put a lot of PC ports to shame. Actually, if you're watching this video, I want you to write in the comments how your high-end TV makes your games look stunning on PS5. A lot of people don't realize that the better the TV, with features like VRR, Super HDR, and HDMI 2.1, the more it upgrades your base PS5 to new levels. Now let's talk SSD. I'm hearing some whispers about Gen 5 being supported. So why should you care? Ever been running through a game and suddenly objects or textures appear out of nowhere? That's called a pop-in, and it can break immersion. With a Gen 5 SSD, which is way faster than the one in the current PS5, data is loaded into the game more smoothly. This means fewer pop-ins and a more seamless experience as you explore the game world. So fast SSD is not just about loading times, but also about loading assets faster in open worlds? Exactly. A fast SSD does more than just cut down on loading times. It also helps with how quickly assets are loaded in open world games. For example, if you're exploring a massive city or landscape, a fast SSD helps ensure that new buildings, terrain, and details appear more naturally and seamlessly. Stuttering or lag can occur when the game struggles to keep up with loading assets. In games with dynamic weather, time of day changes, or large numbers of NPCs, a fast SSD ensures that all the necessary assets for these dynamic elements are loaded quickly. On this channel, size matters, so let's talk storage. It's rumored that the PS5 Pro will come with a larger internal SSD compared to the standard PS5's 825 gigs. While exact details aren't confirmed, many expect the new console to feature a minimum of 2 TB of storage. However, there's some skepticism about whether this storage will be fully usable. One concern is whether the PS5 Pro will follow the same pattern as the original PS5, where the listed storage capacity didn't match the usable space. The original PS5 advertised a 1 TB SSD, but left users with around 650 gigs of usable space. If the PS5 Pro follows this trend, a 2 terabytes drive might only provide around 1.6 terabytes of usable storage. This discrepancy can be frustrating and annoying. Companies should really tell us the usable space we have. Don't tell me, oh, here, you got 4 terabytes to play with, and then when you try to use it, you see only 3.2 terabytes. Where the hell did my other 800 gigs go? Now let me take you back to the Gen 5 SSD situation. I think there might be a chance, but even if it were true, the big word that you should not omit from all this is will support. So even though it might support Gen 5, probably it's something that you would need to buy separately. Will it really make a difference? I'd hope so. Otherwise, what would the point even be? It'd be like getting an external SSD for your PS4 Slim and not notice a difference in speed. I don't know. What do you think? If you have more insights, or unlike me, you're actually an engineer that understands all of these better than I do, let us know in the comments. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra is one of the many new Marvel games on the horizon, but this one really stands out. The game has been generating buzz for years, especially when it was announced that Amy Hennig, the legendary writer known for creating the Uncharted series, joined Skydance New Media to work on a story-driven Marvel game. Initially, leaks suggested it would be an ensemble game with 4 playable characters, leading to speculation about the Fantastic Four or the Defenders. However, the actual reveal at Disney's D23 showcase 2 years ago took everyone by surprise. A World War-era game featuring Captain America and Black Panther, along with a Howling Commando and a Dora Milaje member. While the reaction to the latter 2 characters was mixed, the excitement was rekindled by an incredible story trailer released this year at the Epic Games State of Unreal event at GDC. This trailer showcased the power of Unreal Engine 5 with visuals so stunning that many couldn't distinguish between in-engine footage and live action. Khary Payton and Drew Moorline, who portray Panther and Cap respectively, were brought to life with remarkable realism. Since that trailer, things had gone quiet, leaving fans eagerly awaiting more news. Their patience was rewarded recently when PlayOn announced a worldwide publishing partnership with Skydance Games for the release of Rise of Hydra. PlayOn, known for publishing games like Dead Island 2, Saints Row, and Payday 3, will handle funding, marketing, and overseeing the game's development to ensure it meets high standards. The press release also confirmed a target release date of 2025. Now, what worries me is the involvement of the Embracer Group, PlayOn's parent company. Embracer has had a rough track record lately, with a failed $2 billion investment deal leading to massive layoffs, studio closures, and numerous game cancellations. Over 2,000 gaming jobs have been lost, and several promising projects, like a new Deus Ex game and potentially TMNT The Last Ronin, have been scrapped. Even though Dead Island 2 performed well under PlayOn, games like Payday 3 had a rough launch, and Saints Row was such a disaster that the studio behind it was shut down. There's a real concern that Rise of Hydra could become another casualty of Embracer's ongoing troubles. The game has so much potential, especially with its unique setting and the involvement of Amy Hennig, but it's hard not to worry about the stability of the company behind it. The fear is that financial pressures or management issues could impact the game's development, leading to delays or compromises in quality. Insomniac might be all hands on deck for Marvel's Wolverine, but that doesn't mean they've stopped supporting last year's big hit, Spider-Man 2. Since its October launch, the game has received almost universal praise except for the usual critics. Insomniac has released several free updates to keep the game fresh and exciting. One of the first major updates was the promised new Game Plus, which ended up being even bigger than expected, but was delayed to 2024 due to a devastating cyber attack. More recently, they released a free cosmetic-focused DLC that added new suits from the Kid Super collaboration, and some fan-favorite suits from previous games, perfect for photo mode enthusiasts. Along the way, they've also released smaller updates to fix bugs and improve the overall quality of the game. If you thought Insomniac was done with Spider-Man 2 and moving fully to Wolverine, you're in for a surprise. They confirmed a new update is coming, addressing player feedback and fixing technical issues, like a bug with the Tobey Maguire suit. As always, fans are eager for new story DLC. This anticipation stems from Spider-Man PS4's successful 3-part City That Never Sleeps DLC. After the cyber attack, which confirmed Insomniac's plans for post-launch story updates, fans' hopes were reignited by an accidental leak hinting at a new story expansion featuring the villain Beetle. I mentioned before, Insomniac hasn't denied working on story DLC, keeping hope alive. They typically respond to update queries with, "We have nothing new to announce at this time," which they've done again recently. Until they give a firm no, we can assume that the story DLC will be announced when they're ready. Wow, check out these videos.